Hi. I'm just going to talk about what I learned today. But really sadly, I should have taken this video like 4 hours ago. But the reason why I was not able to do it is because I was really like I was really concentrating on something like some kind of a server. I'm configuring a server that really makes developer experience higher. So I was doing it, so I don't have time for like taking a video of it. So now I think I already did some kind of things to do to this. I'm taking this video. So what I'm trying to do is I'm making a Slack bot, and Slack bot is really easy, and really it seems like easy. There's a lot of things to implement, but the the thing I did was I don't wanna like I don't wanna use some kind of simple like board.js, those kind of it. So I integrate with Express.js, which is the JavaScript backend framework, which is really lightweight compared to Nest.js or Java Spring or those kind of it. So I just use Express.js, and the common like thing about Express.js is like functions. It's just like bunch of functions rather than class, and I really don't like the functions of it. The reason why I don't like the functions of it is because this is actually some kind of software, so somebody has to be like working on it if I don't have time of it. Because so backend engineer we're gonna like make like put on effort on this kind of stuff after I made it. But the thing is that if it's written in JavaScript, and also if it's like functions, like backend engineers gonna hate it. So what do I mean by that? Um, I had some kind of experience of like looking at the backend engineer's code in the front to implement some kind of web application using React, and it was really kind of like complex with the class thing. So I was like, backend engineers are like they like class or those kind of things. So if you look at here, I make a so I reference some kind of repository which is the developer of Node.js. So what it does is it split some kind of dependency on it. For example, even configuring is the EMB, they split into some kind of folder structure on it. So it's really easy to manage which folder structure or which part is gonna be putting on the APIs or routes or services, and that is really great. So I'm just gonna explain this kind of stuff. So if you look at my code of it, the Slack service, the service directory is it's just the directory or the code that doing the business logic. So business logic it sounds really abstract, but it's basically it does some kind of what your web application web server has to do. Example, you create if you look at my service like Slack service, um, I make a tick. When it's received, when it sends, or when the user sends the message on the channel, it will eventually create the issue ticket event. So that's kind of like business logic on it. And if we look closely of how this kind of works, the method we're just gonna get the some kind of this yeah. So here if you look at this kind of like the constructor, it will inject some kind of instance of it. After it receive the instance, it will eventually create some kind of hold on. Yeah, you receive. Wait, hold on. Yeah. You will use some kind of other callback method to implement it, because rather than putting all the business logic in the one method, it has to be split into the role of that method. Example, if you look at this method, retrieve GitHub metadata, it's just basically the extracting the metadata from the specific GitHub repository. And so we use container get. So I believe the container get is just like injecting like dependency on it. So this GitHub service is just also servers that doing the business logic, but also for the GitHub. So domain is the GitHub thing, and that what it does is just like it just creates the GitHub issues and it just retrieves the GitHub metadata. So the GitHub retrieve GitHub metadata use this GitHub service as also dependency injections, and it utilizes the GitHub instance to get the metadata. So all of this kind of like retrieving GitHub metadata and then retrieving issue content is just for the our business logic, core business logic, which is creating an issue ticket. So why did I make some kind of this kind of complex logic to implement select server? If you have some kind of experience of big tech company, what they did was they really they really put effort on enhancing the developer experience. In my ex company, there was some kind of platform team that does this kind of stuff. Example, select, but like server configuration or those kind of it. And I think the kind of hard part was integrating Slack but with the GitHub API. If I create issue via Slack message, that has to be integrated GitHub API, and it will respond back to which issue number is it. So that means that to make an issue, I can just type it, but there should be a rule of it. Even though there's rule of it, there's gonna be the retrieve of the Slack message, which is gonna be your issue number, and that also means that I have to also track the issues, how many issues of it, what is the latest issue of it, issue number of it using GitHub API, and after that, I have to assign to the user that who creates the issue. So, but there's no kind of some kind of API that integrates this kind of thing. So what I did was I made some kind of issue repository that puts all the metadata of our members. Example, like Slack ID, Slack member ID, or the GitHub GitHub user ID. So when the user, our member, trying to make an issue and Slack message, we're just gonna detect the Slack ID based on the request. So after that, you're just gonna get the repo of some kind of issue repo, and that has the metadata of the member, and you extract and compares the objects of the member Slack ID with the request user Slack ID. And if there's some kind of match on it, that's the one who trying to make a GitHub issue. So we're just gonna use this metadata as creating an issue or responsive back. So that's really complex, but everything is really great and already implemented the whole thing. And server is okay, but the most hard thing was just launching a server, like domain thing, some kind of like the feature is okay, but the server is not good. So I don't know how to do the local host, because I don't think like Slack, I think they don't provide some kind of local host integration, because I have to test it, but I think they don't provide some kind of local host. So that is kind of really hard part. So I don't know what to do about it, but still I'm just gonna try to find a way of it. So this is what I'm trying to doing. I'm a front-end engineer, the reason why I'm making a Slack bot server is because I know this thing is really good. This thing is reducing a lot of times, and this thing is increasing developer experience. But bad thing is that I am the one who just experienced this kind of thing. Other my crews, they don't have experience of this kind of stuff, so I have to do it because yeah, I know that's gonna be really great. So this is it. Have a nice day. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.